Happy Tuesday, friends. Good morning. Hope your day is off to a great start. I'm AJ Hilton. This is CBS News Minnesota's morning update. So go ahead and grab that coffee, grab that hot cocoa. Let's get you up to speed when it comes to your news and weather. You're going to want something warm this morning because the Twin Cities forecast, it is expected to be chilly today. Look at the temperatures at noon, hitting 53 degrees. The good news is the sun will be shining bright. And how about 4 p.m.? Not as windy, so I guess that's the bright side there. 58 degrees is your temperature, but look overnight. We're talking about frosty conditions at 8 p.m., 50 degrees. I mean, we're talking cool temperatures, so grab that jacket. You'll want it, maybe even a scarf, because it certainly could feel a little blustery out, even though the sun will be shining today. Okay, so here we are. We're not even to October yet, but the holiday shopping season, apparently it is here because these retailers, they want you to shop, 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 shop. Amazon just announced it's holding a second Prime Day-like shopping event. This is scheduled for October 11th and 12th. They say they'll have deals just like their other sales. Amazon wants entire customers early just in case those family budgets get a little tighter before the end of the year. I mean, you think about inflation, what that's doing. We understand. Target Day is doing its deals for October 6th through the 8th. And Walmart says we can't be left out, so they're expanding their window for gift returns October 1st until January 31st. So you taking advantage of any of these deals? You going to do it? Is it still too soon? When do you plan to start your holiday shopping? Have you started? Are you going to start? Let us know. If you're watching on Facebook, you can leave a comment right here. We're going to read through some of those in just a moment. But it seems like all these retailers, they want you to shop right now for those holidays. Forget about Halloween. Don't even worry about the candy. They want you to start doing your holiday shopping right now. Let's get to your headlines this morning, and the big one is students in Richfield will be back in class this morning after online threats shut down their schools on Monday, at least some of the schools. The Richfield School District called off class at 4 schools after someone sent in those threats. And remember, this comes just days after gunfire sent families, students running from the high school homecoming football game. Police arrested a 15-year-old for shooting 2 young men Friday night and a 16-year-old for starting the fight. This is what ended up canceling the homecoming dance the next day. Now, everyone survived, but parents told us they are just sick of all the violence.
It's gross. I mean, it's gross to think that this is everywhere now, and it's just, the State Fair, the Mall of America, our schools, football games, it's everywhere.
Right? When is it going to stop? Richfield police said the threats were general in nature, the online threats, and they're working with other departments to figure out where those threats, in fact, came from. Well, in less than a week now, hundreds of mental health workers plan to walk off the job, and they are not alone. More than 400 workers at mHealth Fairview and Allina Health gave their 10-day notice to strike. Their union says it's fighting for safe staffing levels along with better wages and benefits. That strike will start next Monday and last for 3 days. Now, both healthcare systems say they have been negotiating in good faith and will continue to do so. You can find their full statements on our website. So, a couple of weeks ago we had the nurses, and now we have healthcare workers who are threatening to strike, these mental health care workers. Also right now, 1,500 service workers at the University of Minnesota are deciding whether they will go on strike. They're voting over this over the next 2 weeks. Their union says it's fighting chronic understaffing, poverty wages, abusive employment practices. The U says it's looking for opportunities to collaborate and find a solution. And you'll remember just last week, we talked about what's happening in the food halls there. Students don't even have food, so they were complaining about the conditions there. We do have some new information to bring you on a story that we've been following for the last few days. Take a look at this video. It's the one that went viral over the weekend. That mouse poking around the food at Stellas Fish Cafe in Minneapolis. Just hate to see that. The restaurant called in inspectors to help, and they did find signs of mice, droppings, and a dead mouse in a trap. I can't even watch that video. They did do follow-up inspections Sunday, and then early yesterday afternoon, the restaurant is back open. The Minneapolis Department of Health says all restaurants need to be inspected. The frequency depends on how complex the menu is. Inspectors will show up if you ask them.
In Minneapolis, we have a 311 system, and if we receive a complaint, we follow up on it within 3 days.
The owners of Stellas Fish Cafe say it has always passed its regular city health inspections, including one just 60 days ago. Minneapolis inspection reports are available to the public, so you can check them out for yourself. We have information about how to find them at wcco.com/links. New cameras could help make your child's school bus ride a little bit safer. That's because the state just gave about $3 million to more than 20 schools and bus companies. They can spend that money on stop arm cameras and software. Everyone is supposed to stop when school bus lights flash and the stop arm is fully extended. Thing is, police say they still ticketed nearly 770 drivers just last year. Well, these new cameras should help catch these lawbreakers and also raise awareness about following the rules to protect our students, your children. Drivers who do not stop could pay a $500 fine. Well, we talked about the fact that things are starting to cool down as we inch closer to October, and home heating bills could spike again this winter. Thing is, if you take some action now, it could help you to keep your furnace running. Minnesota's cold weather rule, it starts this Saturday. It prevents energy companies from disconnecting your service if you can't pay your heating bill. But you have to set up a payment plan in advance. So now is the time to reach out to your energy company if you need help. The cold weather rule runs through the end of August. Yesterday, we first told you about that huge jump in gas prices in Wisconsin. Well, we got some new information as to why prices jumped and continue to go up. Prices there have jumped by 36 cents in just the last week, and it's even higher, about 45 cents a gallon more in the Madison area. AAA Wisconsin says an incident at a Toledo, Ohio refinery is to blame. That refinery is offline, and it could stay that way the rest of the week. Until it's fixed, expect higher prices in the Badger State.
I would anticipate that once these refinery issues are resolved, we'll see our prices here in Wisconsin begin to level back off and come back closer to what the national average is.
AAA Wisconsin says they expect that Ohio refinery to be back online by early next week, but they wouldn't be surprised if gas prices hit $4 again in the state before that. And it's inching closer to that $4 mark in Wisconsin. The average price is now $3.88 a gallon, which is up 11 cents from just yesterday. It's also an increase of 43 cents in the last week. Now, there's no change here in Minnesota, where the average is still $3.69 a gallon for unleaded. It was $3.63 last week, so it's a 6-cent change from last week, but holding steady this morning. Listen to this. A former police officer believes he has an invention that will cut down on carjackings. Cole Lee and his business partner, Ken Salway, showed us their device called Top Control. So it essentially shuts down your vehicle when a thief tries to take it. Salway says if the doors open while the car is running, the Top Control device assumes a carjacking is taking place.
And then the alarm goes off, the car shuts down, they can't get anywhere with the vehicle.
If you open your door while your vehicle is running, you can shut the device off before it goes off. That's done by hitting a secret switch, which is inside the vehicle. Top Control also works for ATVs and snowmobiles. It costs just under $450. The St. Croix National Scenic Riverway is getting a much-needed mobile visitor center. Every year, the Riverway in Osceola, Wisconsin gets more than 1 million visitors. Thing is, a lack of official gates and entrances means the visitor experience isn't as great as it could be, so they want to fix that. Well, a grant from the National Park Foundation is helping to kickstart a project to change just that.
Our goal as a national park is to really meet the people where they are. We know that not everyone comes to a visitor center. It's not always convenient, and maybe it's not what they want to do. And so our goal is to really bring the park to the people.
The hope is that with a ranger or a volunteer or a conservancy staff member on the truck, we can share maybe a landing that's close by that's not as busy, or we can encourage them to maybe visit a campsite maybe a little bit further north to give them just a very different experience a little bit further from the Twin Cities.
The big truck or van that will become the mobile visitor center will allow the Conservancy and its volunteers to go to the more than 60 landings in the park and 150 campsites to connect with visitors. The hope is to have the mobile visitor vehicle on the road next summer. Want to take just a moment to share some pretty exciting news changes that we got coming for the morning update. Starting October 5th, we are going to be moving to our streaming service, CBS News Minnesota. So we'll also have a new start time. The show will now start at 7 a.m. right after our morning newscast. This does mean we will stop our Facebook Live recordings, but don't worry, it is still as easy as ever to find us. All you got to do, go to our website, WCCO.com, every morning at 7 to watch live. We still want to hear from you, too. There's going to be some new ways for you to interact with us and give us your feedback. So, again, this will all start a week from Wednesday on October 5th, so we cannot wait to have you join us for a brand new chapter of the morning update as we expand it. So let's get back to today's talker. Let's see what you're saying when it comes to holiday shopping. You doing it yet? Becca says, I shop whenever I see good deals. I have a game stashed away that I bought when Toys R Us closed. Hold up, Toys R Us closed? Wow, that was a while ago, right? My son is finally old enough for it, so he'll get it this Christmas. Becca, that is awesome. I love the fact that you went that far. Lavelle says, I usually do my holiday shopping around after Thanksgiving. That's in line with a lot of people, Lavelle. I think just a lot of people thinking may want to do it earlier because of inflation. Candace says, I sometimes purchase an item or two during the year that I know someone would really like, but mostly don't do any holiday shopping until December. Sounds like a plan. Just wanted to hear what you guys are doing, especially with these retailers offering all these deals now. It feels like they're just coming out of the woodwork. Here's a deal, and here's a deal, and here's a deal. Shop, shop, shop. By the way, thanks for sounding off. That is your morning update from CBS News Minnesota, your only local news streaming source. Thanks for watching. See you back here tomorrow, 7:30.